suspected name for this movie is Jedi Jesus at this time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 109 of Press Any Key. Please like this stream, give us a comment, share it with your friends. We got some good stuff to talk about tonight. Super Mario Brothers movie. There's Star Wars Celebration. James Gunn talked about potential Marvel DC crossover. There's a new Harry Potter streaming show coming out. And we got a Blue Beetle trailer. So fun stuff. With me as always is my co-host, Nick McFly.
I'm back.
Everybody give it up. And then on the ones and twos, everybody give it up for Liz.
Elizabeth!
Hi, friends. How is everybody?
I want to die.
That was Liz talking to her followers.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That's right. I forgot you have those. That must be nice. I'm on the wrong fucking Wi-Fi.
Oh, what are you doing here? What do you got there?
Relax. Everyone calm down.
Joel needs a car.
Everyone's calm but you right now.
Joel needs a car.
There you go.
All right.
So what are you talking about first, Pat? You got this.
I'm glad you asked. You know, because I just love insects. Blue and the color blue.
I really thought you were going to say incest.
I don't know why you think I'd go there, but I have
why I was very
never
shocked.
once ever been like, you know what I really like to see?
Step siblings.
No step cat. What are you doing? Okay.
Oh, no.
Anyway, there's a Blue Beetle trailer.
Blue Beater.
Blue Beater. It's coming for you. Blue Beetle trailer dropped this week. So we just watched it. Probably like not even 10 minutes ago. And well, I that was the second time I watched it. The first time you watched it. Yeah. So I have some fun stuff here for us to get into. So quick summary of the plot for people who don't know. And I got this from Wikipedia, so the most reliable source on the internet. Mm-hmm. You know, you can go find this there too. So you know I'm not lying. So after Jaime Reyes graduates from college and returns to his hometown of Palmera City, he is chosen to become the symbiotic host of the Scarab, an ancient alien biotechnological relic that grants him a powerful exoskeleton armor, turning him into the superhero Blue Beetle. Did you know anything about this character beforehand?
I've watched Moon Knight. That's pretty close, right?
I just heard. All I heard was this is Venom crossed with
Moon Knight.
With Iron Man. So from the trailer, this is another one of those movies that James Gunn is hyping up quite a lot. You notice the ones that he's quiet about are the ones that are kind of sucking. But the ones that he's hyping up seem to be good. So this, I mean, to me looks like fun, small scale, which is
looks like,
you know,
it almost looks like 2008.
It feels very much like Iron Man 2008. So
I do think that the suit looks pretty generic and blah. And the tech interface looked like very video gamey. It didn't look like a big budget movie, so that I was worried.
It's funny that you say that because this was actually upgraded from a streaming release to a theatrical release.
Okay.
But before James Gunn came on board. So that means that they had, I mean, if they were shit cannon Batgirl, that means they looked at this and they like, okay, we have faith in this. This could actually make some money.
How bad was Batgirl? I still like.
I want to see it just to know how bad it is, but I know that it will. Like that's one of those things that has to leak online in like a decade from now. So this way it's so far away from like what they've established. You know what I mean? So it doesn't hurt their brand.
The first time I saw the Wolverine origin movie, the one or the
it was the leaked copy.
I watched
right?
the leaked
Me too.
one.
Yeah.
Really? Why was that one so big? My dad got a copy. He got a DVD. He's like, "Oh, it hasn't been released yet."
Yeah.
And I was like, "This movie ain't even done." Like when he throws the guns up in the air and they look like they're carved out of plastic.
That actually directly had to do with Rupert Murdoch.
Ruining
it. He
everything.
wanted a copy of that movie
Really?
so he could show whoever, and they just gave him whatever they had, and
then we
went through an email, and you know, it got out. Anyway, this does exist within the new established DCU continuity. Yeah, because once again, it's not only a small scale, sort of in its own little corner of the universe.
No strings attached.
No connective
to the
tissue.
old stuff.
Yeah. It stars. His name is Sholo Mardinera. Help. His name is Sholo. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm gonna butcher it.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, but he's in Cobra Kai, so he's.
Oh, that's not his name.
No, his name is not Cobra Kai, Nick.
Mariduena.
I think at least the VFX look good at this stage, and they've had time to work on it. You know what I mean?
They look like the Tick TV show.
No, they do.
That's what it looks. The reboot, the reboot one.
Oh, you mean the one on Amazon?
Yeah, the one with the guy from from Shaun of the Dead. He was the
I
other
don't remember.
roommate. He was not Ed.
The guy with the glasses?
Peter Serafinowicz, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Either way, I don't think it looks like
Griffin
the
Newman.
Tick.
It doesn't look like the Tick. Good, keep going.
So this releases August 18th of this year, which is good. It's prime time spot because that's normally the dead zone. You know, it's normally like the last week of July, first week of August is when the big summer releases kind of taper off. That last weekend in July is usually the biggest one of the year. And then we just kind of have like August to September is like, let's see, maybe we'll have a hit in here somewhere. And then, you know, the Oscar movies come out and, you know, the horror films come out and whatnot. So this is in a prime spot for it to suck up all the box office dollars. So hopefully it's good.
Scoop them all up.
Yeah, that's what we're looking
When does this
for.
come out?
August 18th.
August 18th. All right. I'll be there.
I know you will because
Yep.
we're going to be covering on this show. Isn't it fun to watch movie trailers and be like, wow, I have to see
I'm
that?
now obligated.
Yeah.
George Lopez.
Yes, I like George Lopez. I'm glad that he is somehow like the moral
Still out
compass
there.
of this movie. He's still on the run.
I like he's got a mullet.
He's got a mullet on his face.
and
And
on
on
his
his-
head. We can only speculate where else he might have a mullet.
That's true. Liz, where do you think his third mullet is?
No,
he's got
I'm not
7
gonna do it.
holes.
I'm not.
You could put a mullet on any of
Listen,
them.
there are holes in your face, okay? And the eyes go there, okay?
So we're going to say 9 holes. 2
No.
of them are plugged up.
Sure.
At least
Okay.
2 of them.
At least 2 of them have be plugged.
That's what they say. The eye holes are the plugs of the face. All right.
What were we talking about again?
George Lopez, his third mullet.
Okay. So yeah, that's Blue Beetle.
Yeah, it looks nice and colorful too, which
It
is a
did
nice
look-
change
it's
of
very
pace.
different from what we've seen from DC.
Yes, that is true. I mean, considering
It's
we
weird
didn't
this-
see the last DC outing, but whatever.
Is this going to be the first in the new DC continuity?
No, that would be Shazam.
That's from that carries over. This is the first one that's like fresh. Shazam was attached to the. It's got fucking Aquaman and shit in, or Superman in it.
No, it doesn't. It has
The first one did.
Yeah,
The
but
second one had.
the second
Wonder
one had
Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's gonna be in the
That's
new shit.
attached to the old.
This
DC.
absolutely. This was made like produced during the era of the old regime.
The Perlmutter days.
So yeah, exactly. So even if it doesn't share any connective tissue, the old regime has their hands all over
but
it.
it feels different.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say this is officially the first new DC universe movie, as far as the way I see it.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be officially.
What about
but
the
in my head?
What about the Flash?
Flash hasn't come out yet, and it's all attached to the old universe.
But the whole point of that movie is severing the ties of the old regime.
Well, the point still stands. Hasn't come out yet.
Okay. All right. Cool. You know what also hasn't come out yet, Nick?
Killers of the Flower Moon,
That's-
starring
That's-
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's a fair. It's a
Has not
it's
come
a-
out yet.
You're right. It hasn't. It hasn't. Who are we to say? But
What else hasn't come out yet, Pat?
any new Harry Potter stuff.
You're right.
However, this is something that should be right up your alley because you're a little Hogwarts
I'm
boy,
a
right?
Potterhead.
Yeah. What about you, Liz? You like Harry Potter?
Are you a little powder boy?
I like Harry Potter. I
You
don't know
little
if I-
Potter boy, huh?
I don't know if I'm a huge Potterhead, but I like Harry Potter.
What house are you in?
Stop that.
What house?
I always say Ravenclaw, but then Pat bullies me because he's like, I picked it
It's
first.
not a bully. It's a constant in our relationship where I do something and then she's like, "Oh, I do that too." That's why I keep doing
Wow,
theater.
what a terrible thing about Liz.
Yeah.
Not that I bought a
there's no
Ravenclaw keychain
originality.
in 2015.
All right, so Liz is a Ravenclaw. What are you, Slytherin, obviously. Yeah, and I'm a fucking Hufflepuff.
Yeah. Objectively the worst house.
No, fuck you.
Raven.
Not the worst.
Slytherin goes the hardest, okay?
Yeah, and they're the fucking Nazis.
Yeah. We hang out. It's a good time.
Yeah, so they're the worst, obviously.
Well, anyway, HBO and WB are developing a Harry Potter streaming service.
And I'm about
Streaming series.
Yeah, the Harry Potter streaming service.
A couple little factoids we have about this. Just like the books and the movies before it, each season is set to take place in a different year of school.
Yeah.
So presumably there'll
Hopefully,
be 7 seasons.
All 7 in a row.
They don't got to skip around. Now, here's the controversial part. J.K. Rowling is said to
He's
be
going to play a
attached.
transphobe in the show.
She ain't playing. They just set up a camera and they're like, have at it. She's attached to the project not as a writer, but as, quote, the creative figure to ensure the integrity of her property, which
Like
I think
George-
is
like George
more
Lucas
than fair.
is he doesn't have any official say,
Yeah.
but he's kind of like, yeah, this makes sense in the world that I made.
Yeah, they rhyme.
They rhyme.
Yeah. So, side note, you didn't see Dungeons and Dragons, right?
No, I didn't.
They shot a whole sequence of that movie.
They shot George Lucas.
right in the chest. Like, God.
No,
No,
was
they
like the Terminator or in Terminator 2.
You know what? Maybe that would have gotten me to like Dungeons and Dragons.
they shot a whole scene of that movie in like the first Hogwarts castle.
What?
Yeah, and the entire time I'm sitting there, I'm going, I know this place. I've been here before. And then they said it in an interview, and it was one of those like, I fucking knew it. But of course, you're not allowed to get excited for Harry Potter anymore. Anyway, Nick, I wanted to ask you, because you recently read all the books.
Yes.
What do you hope to see in this TV series that they left out of the movies?
That's for me the biggest thing is that this is a chance to, although the movies were great, there was a lot of dropped material.
Yeah.
And some things that made no sense to leave out. I think the biggest miss in the whole thing was leaving out Tom Riddle's background, which is like the whole premise of, I forget which book, but one of the later books, we spend a ton of time collecting memories to see why Voldemort is Voldemort, and
Yeah.
you see how he got to where he is, and they left all of that out of the movie. It's what is the point of this whole franchise if not to lead up to this epic battle between Harry and Voldemort?
I do feel that way, as like, although I feel like they did enough for Voldemort's character in the movies to make him
He was evil
sinister and
for just to be evil.
right. It didn't feel like there was anything super compelling, but at least the performance, the design, and everything, and he was around. He was around enough for you to what's it called? For you to develop some sort of hatred towards him, right?
But they never really get into
Why,
why he's
yeah.
evil, and that's a big thing in the books. Is that he on his mother's side they were magical, and on his father's side they were Muggles. His mother fell in love with a Muggle man and used magic to seduce him and have a child together. And then when she released him from her spell, he was like, "What the fuck? This is not what I want."
Mm-hmm.
So Tom Riddle was born out of love, and that's why he can't know what love is, which is what Dumbledore's telling you the whole time. Is Voldemort doesn't understand love, and Harry's mother's love is what protects him. You know, like,
Harry's love is a mother's.
love is a mother.
Yeah.
His mother love.
Yeah.
That's what protects him from Voldemort. So it was a big theme, love, and then they left out that whole part where it's like, this is why Tom Riddle cannot feel love or understand love. That all of the backstory to the Marauders and James Potter and their friendship, like in the movie, when like the Marauders map never belonged to James Potter and Sirius Black and all of them. It just was. Fred and George were like, here you go, later.
You're going to need this. Yeah.
All like a lot of the Quidditch season is left out, which is a big,
Yeah.
it might seem irrelevant, but it's like a big part of Harry's emotional state, what's going on in the Quidditch season. So those are some of the bigger things. There's a ton of like spew when Hermione is going off about like other magical creatures' rights in the world. that plot line did kind of, it wasn't the best, but you're leaving out an essential part of Hermione's story. They gave all of Ron's good characteristics to everybody else, so they kind of cheapened Ron as a character, so they get another chance to do him justice. Yeah, I could go on, but those are the bigger things that they kind of missed out on.
Got it.
And a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, I can't see anybody else but Daniel Radcliffe."
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up because I have some thoughts on that. Number one, it's been 22 years since the first Harry Potter movie.
It's time to move on.
It's time to move on. Number two, I think any hope of them having $1 billion franchise again with Harry Potter just went out the window without that original cast. If you do not have the 3 originals playing their role, this is specifically meant to be the cornerstone of their new streaming service. Because remember, HBO is a volatile name these days. So this is meant to this is supposed to be like the Mandalorian for Disney Plus. You know what I mean? This is supposed to what you're supposed to be subscribing
You're
for.
hurting me, Pat.
You're
hurting me.
And I think that although this is a good idea, because we see like with The Last of Us, we've seen with The Boys, how you can take these video game or comic or book properties and turn them into these amazing adaptations through the small screen. Fortunately, small screen ain't as profitable as going to the theaters, and we know that because 2 of the biggest streaming services in the game just said that they're putting their movies in theaters. I think without that original 3 cast playing their parts, you have just taken all of the nostalgia out of this. This is Harry Potter for the next generation. This is not for us.
It's for the next generation. So why would they give a shit about Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint?
Well, you got to remember, this is, like I said, cornerstone of their new streaming platform. Inherently, I think they know that, of course, this is going to be a television show. It's not like they're going to be making money hand over fist with advertising and everything. It's all going to be subscription driven.
You've got a built-in audience for seven seasons. You know what I mean? It's not like every other show.
I just want to be clear.
Like,
this was Disney's thought process too.
Well, yeah, but everybody's still watching though. Not us. You know what I mean?
They're down to 25% of their original viewership.
But also, the quality of the content is bad. I trust HBO to do things right. You have parents, like people our age and older, who grew up with the books and grew up with the movies, who are going to come back to the well, kids who are going to want to watch this. And I think more so than the actors, what's important is the John Williams score and incorporating that, finding somebody who can carry that torch, because that really does
tie it all together. It's like a nice rug, it just ties it all together.
Exactly. It brings the room together.
Yeah.
I think give the original actors cameos. Maybe make Daniel Radcliffe James Potter.
That's not a bad idea.
Something like that.
Yeah, I was going to make that point because Netflix just did that with Wednesday. Christina Ricci, the original Wednesday. I don't know if she's actually the original, but for all intents and purposes,
she's the original Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, she's in the show as like another character.
Yeah.
So maybe
I'm
they'll
trying
do
to
something
think.
like that.
They also did that. Like, this is a crazy reference. The Longest Yard.
Yeah.
They made what's his name? Fuck, I can't remember the actor's name.
Help.
Old guy. Burt Reynolds.
Burt
Reynolds was the original guy in The Longest Yard.
He was the original Adam Sandler.
Right, and then in the new one,
he was Christina Ricci.
Yeah, he was Christina Ricci. That's right.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool if they even made him like he doesn't even have to be James Potter. Make him like one of the other professors, or like make him a bad guy. Make him fucking Voldemort.
That
How
would be
fucking
wild.
cool would that be?
That would be wild. So right before we move on for this, I gotta ask you this question: do you think they'll HBOify it? They'll make it for adults. Like teachers will be like fucking in their office and everything, and like.
No, I don't think so. I think that the books are dark enough where there's enough.
But this is premium television, Nick. Okay,
this is
HBO.
This is not television. This is home box office.
HBO has to provide me with at least one set of titties and 2 doms per season of a show.
There, you're gonna see. Oh, all right, here it is.
Did you get that with The Last of Us?
No, and that's really why.
That's the biggest problem with
it. Well, that was, I mean, like, not even to sound like a creep or whatever.
We did get Bill and Frank.
Oh yeah, that's
they had a sex scene.
Yeah,
there you go.
They did.
There was a sex scene in Last of Us.
Like that was the original hook of HBO. Was like, I'm paying however much money per month on top of my cable bill. I want some nudity. They used to have a whole catalog of just like adult content.
SkinemaX.
No, it was not SkinemaX. They used to have this series called what was it? Cat House, the series, which was the hose out in the wild, out in the desert in Nevada at the houses. What do they call it? The brothels.
Bunny Ranch.
No. They had Taxi Cab Confessions, which is like, I guess they'd just pick strangers up and they'd like just pour out their secrets, and a couple of those people would fuck on camera and they would just record it. They had this series called Real Sex, which was literally week to week them being like, what's this sex move that you have to teach us? Or it would be like, welcome to the porn awards. And like, there'd be all this crazy porn shorts and everything. Like, they used to have a whole division of that company relegated to just adult content. So that's what I'm saying.
Man,
like,
times have changed.
In the last couple of years, especially with Euphoria and whatever new show that the guy who made Euphoria is doing, they're catching a lot of shit from like Gen Z, being like, there doesn't need to be this much nudity. There doesn't mean, it's like, why are you taking all the good things away from us?
All right, so here's my proposal for sex scene in Harry Potter the series. Remember the scene in Goblet of Fire where Harry has to go take a bath to take the egg and stick it underwater?
There's a Moaning Myrtle joke
and Moaning Myrtle shows up as he's taking a bath. That's the sex scene.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Harry and Myrtle.
I mean, these are like 15 and 16-year-olds we're talking about. Whatever.
So is Euphoria, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're high school students.
Euphoria is about to make a 5-year time jump, so
they have to. I mean, it's just weird that they're all super young. You know?
No, that's it. They're like, we want them to fuck. We got to get them out of high school.
Yeah, no, I could see something to it. You know, like you ever see Shameless?
Yeah.
There's sex scenes literally in the intro.
It's peppered in. Yeah, that's
to that
true,
show.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine, like, you know, the first episode where you're rolling through Hogwarts and your camera just pans past somebody getting railed out in the bathroom or something? Like,
actually,
that's what you could have now.
You know what else you could do?
So far away from the point.
No, this is exactly the point.
The point.
Here's what you do. Remember how bad the Harry and Ginny relationship was in the movies, and everybody hated it?
Mm-hmm.
This is how you apologize for how bad their chemistry was in the movies. Make them have hot, passionate sex once they turn 18.
Just like The Room.
Just like The Room. You are my rose. You are my rose.
Okay, so now on some real shit.
That was some real shit.
You know what? I'm sorry. You're right. It was some real shit. Okay, because I'm worried about that too. Pussification of America. No.
Jeez.
On some realness, though, do you think they will change any of the characters' names or any of their ethnicities or ancestries or not for like for instance
the woke mob?
No, not for a woke mob. Cho Chang, for instance. Do you think they'll update her name?
I don't know. That's a real name that you could have, right?
I guess.
Seems to me like the first thing that probably like somebody like J.K. Rowling would think of. Yeah. Like, all right, I got an Asian character, Cho Chang.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do think that would be a real name.
Yeah,
there is. I have seen on the Harry Potter subreddit. There's a lot of people who are like, if you look at the way she developed the other schools around the world, she didn't do her research, and it's just like it's such a failure of
all stereotypes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, oh, the school in Africa has this and the school in Asia has that, and she just was like, what do I know off the top of my head about these regions? And yeah, didn't spend the time to do the proper research.
Yeah, I have quite a lot of jokes running through my head right now.
Sure
I'm just gonna keep them to myself.
I appreciate that. But yeah, I think that this is exactly what the Harry Potter world needs right now. Because clearly we're in dark times, the same way we are with Star
Hogwarts
Wars.
Legacy.
Well, I mean, as far as like the movies and television stuff goes, like Fantastic Beasts is like such a dead.
Bro, I don't even think about that
franchise.
shit now.
Well, that's exactly the point.
Like,
You just have to turn it off.
and
that
like
part of your
everyone's
brain.
like, you stopped right before the best one. It's like, yeah, but
they lost my trust.
exactly. And even if that is the best one, we're going nowhere with it.
Yeah.
You had a Harry Potter movie that failed to make money at the box office. Like, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Like, you fuck something up then.
So if you go down this route, you re-earn people, you keep them interested in the property for at least 7 seasons, which, you know, like that's close to a decade of television. And then you start, you know, like start branching off and doing movies again and take another crack at it.
Yeah.
Also, you know, it'd be interesting. Ian McKellen turned down the role of Dumbledore the first time. You got another chance to ask Ian McKellen to be Dumbledore.
That is true. That is true.
That'd be pretty fucking sweet.
All right. Well, speaking of properties, Nicholas, I bought a nice one now. Who's in charge of the most
Charles.
damaged property right now in the Hollywood entertainment
Kathleen
space?
Kennedy?
That's right. No. James Gunn. He's out here promoting Guardians of the
he's-
Galaxy 3. Okay.
Don't mind me. I just got my Baja Blast.
And he was stopped recently by Empire Magazine, and somebody asked him of a, quote, next level crossover featuring Marvel's The Avengers and DC's legendary slate of characters from the Justice League. So this is his last foray with Marvel. You
For
know?
now.
No, this is it. I mean,
For now.
you can pretty much guarantee that in his contract with DC, after Guardians is done, he's not allowed to work on anything else. Because remember, his initial contract is 4 years. However, I imagine that Superman movie is going to be a big fucking hit, and then they're going to try and keep him for like another 10. So either way, somebody asked him about a potential crossover between Marvel and DC. And his response was, quote, I'm certain that's more likely now that I'm in charge. He told Empire, who knows? You just don't expect anything on that front in the immediate future. That's many years away from us. I have to establish what we're doing at DC first. Clearly, he's got a plan, and I would be lying if I say that we haven't discussed it. But all the discussions have been very light and fun. Now, when I say that, when we knew this was nothing when it happened, but it's wild that they have been discussing it.
Right.
And when I'm telling you that when they say we have discussed it, I think it's I'm in the edit bay with Kevin Feige, and it's like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if or wouldn't it be now that I'm in charge, we could totally work something, you know what I mean?
Like you said, lighthearted,
Yeah.
totally just off the cuff. I like to hear this. Definitely it's going to be a long time because he's got to establish his universe.
Yeah.
But I was trying to project ahead. Let's say 10, 12, 15 years from now, we have an established DC universe, and they're talking about it. What is Marvel going to look like at that point? Fantastic Four and X-Men? That's pretty fucking cool.
Fantastic Four,
you miss out on like
X-Men.
Iron Man and all that shit, but
Yeah,
you're going to
but
have some prime Marvel characters.
I agree that you are missing out on. I mean, that era is over. You just have to.
It's too late.
It's just that ship has sailed. My whole thing is that in the interim or leading up to that, if that is a thing, who are they bringing back? As soon as this news dropped, Chris Evans said on Twitter he's been having discussions with Marvel about his eventual return because he's still young.
Yeah.
How
old is Chris Evans?
I believe he's only 41. Let's see.
Doesn't look it.
He's 40. Yeah, he's 41. Okay.
Nice. What's his middle name?
I don't know.
Command Shift T. Robert.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, so the whole thing here is that his whole thing is he just doesn't want to cheapen it if he's gonna come back because Captain America has died and come back 100 times in the comics. But my point is just that
Now
it's
he's
one
gonna-
of
he's gonna
those
die
things
and
where
come
maybe
back
where maybe
evil.
the emails already went out, or maybe the discussions with agents have already been had, or it's like one of these, But I like how James Gunn was like, no, we need to focus on what we're doing at home base first and build out our, you know what I mean? We need our own Batman, our own Superman, our own, they got a Supergirl movie coming. They got, you know, the Gods and Monsters. They have their own animated stuff coming, you know. Oh my God, my throat hurts. But they just have to get their shit off the ground first.
Yeah.
And see where Marvel is at that point too. I don't even care if it's one of these things where it's like, it's not necessarily in continuity. You know what I mean? Like just have it be its own standalone thing, you know?
Yeah.
Or maybe it only lives in one of their continuity.
Yeah.
Who'd you want to see cross over?
Well, obviously you'd want the Justice League, you know, your core players, but as far as Marvel, it's like I would love to be able to see like Batman and Iron Man, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, Fantastic Four and some of the X-Men, maybe like your Professor X, would be cool to see with I don't know, who'd you want to see? You know more about the
Batman and Iron Man.
Yeah.
Rich boys with toys.
Superman and Chris Evans.
No. Superman and Wolverine.
No. Chris Evans, the person.
Oh,
not
okay,
the-
yeah. Superman and Wolverine.
Why those two?
Because both of them are basically indestructible.
Okay.
And one of them's like, I don't really hurt people. And the other one's like, I like to eviscerate people.
Yeah.
I was thinking like maybe like Hulk and Aquaman, you know, because they're both big burly dudes.
I hope the next Aquaman is not a big burly dude. I hope he's like a dainty fop.
He's a dandy.
He's a dandy.
He's a dandy. That's an appropriate term, right?
With his,
Liz?
like,
a dandy for Aquaman.
Yeah.
I guess.
And he's like beautifully coiffed blonde hair, you know? There you go. I want the
You want like the OG Aquaman.
Riding a seahorse, shooting beams out to fish. That's right. That's the sound it made.
I want a
Hanna-Barbera.
giant seahorse.
Yeah, man. That'd be cool.
I think they rode sharks in the Aquaman movie.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, it's par for the course. But
Yeah.
either way, listen, like I said, this was all speculate. Like this is all.
It's
like, you're just talking shit at this point. But this is something this would. How much money do you think this would make?
a bajillion.
Yeah,
dollars.
exactly.
It would make James Cameron look like a poor man as far as box office success.
Okay, yeah. He's pretty rich overall.
Yeah. This movie is going to blow those avatars out of the water.
We'll see. We got fire.
No pun intended.
Nick, we have another Avatar movie coming out this year.
We got more.
We got another one coming out this year, and then you get a year off, and then
Thank
we're
God.
back for 2025 and 2026. Does that excite
boy.
you?
Not really.
Why not?
I think those movies are good, but I don't care about the world of Pandora.
I'm having a moment like Homelander in the movie theater right now. I just heard white noise. Did I just hear you say, I think those movies are good?
Yeah, remember when we did the review for The Way of Water, and I was like, I was wrong. Those movies are good.
Again. It happened again.
I mean, like they're light. They're light on plot, but they're fun action movies.
Yeah.
But it's not like I have this emotional attachment to them. Even like the Marvel movies, I'm invested in those. I'm not invested in Avatar.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll get there though.
4 more movies from now, maybe I'll get there.
All right. So, big fish this week, Nick.
Aquaman.
Big fish. Nope. Try again.
I'm trying to remember what we're talking about. We already did.
It's a
Blue
big thing that
Beetle.
happened in Europe. One might say there was
All
lots
those
of confetti
earthquakes in Turkey.
Yup. That's right.
Star Wars Celebration.
That's right.
That
Star
happened in
Wars
Europe?
Celebration 2023. Yeah, it was in Europe. That's why all the information was coming out in the morning here. It's like, what do they do? Are they doing this at fucking 9 a.m.? What's going on? So, Star Wars Celebration 2023 happened. Now, there was quite a lot of things announced. However, the stuff that is...
They got Dave Filoni a bigger hat.
Yeah. And every time this tweet gets 10 likes, we make the hat bigger.
He's like, please stop it.
So the whole thing with this is that there was a lot of stuff that was announced. There's a lot of stuff coming in 2024 that we're going to get more information on as the year goes on and into 2024. So we're not really going to be talking about that to begin with. The only thing you really got to know is that the list of directors that they got for the Skeleton Crew is absolutely wild. However, what I have here are 3 movies, 2 trailers, and lots of disappointed fans.
A partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah, that's right. So let's just start off with the movies. Kick it off. First of all, James Mangold, fresh off of Indiana Jones 5, is writing and directing his very own Star Wars picture. It is said to be a biblical epic.
Then that's mad luxurious.
Quote, we came up with an incredible story to tell about the dawning of the Force. Mangold's movie will focus on the dawn of the Jedi, and he is said to be writing this at the same time that he is writing Swamp Thing.
Cool.
So he's juggling the two. The suspected name for this movie is Jedi Jesus at this time. So, very topical since today is Easter.
For us, not for the listener.
So I tend to believe that they saw this is an indication that Indiana Jones 5 is good.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Because if they saw
They trust this man.
if they saw what he did with Logan, and we're like, all right, well, we need a send off movie for Indiana Jones.
Swan song.
Like, let's get this guy. And then I feel like once they were on the ground working with him and saw the product that he created for Indiana Jones and for Lucasfilm, they were like, we got to get this guy over at Star Wars because we fucking need some help.
He's doing something right.
Yeah, exactly. And
So
I don't think he's ever made a bad movie. So,
I think this is a cool approach. We're finally, we have things in the works like Acolyte that are outside of the 1 generation, 2 generation span of Star Wars stuff that we've seen.
yeah.
Up to this point. I think this one is promising. This is the only one of the 3 movies that we're about to talk about that is promising in my eyes, and
Okay.
I think you too.
Yes. Well, I got a question for you as soon as we're done talking about these 3 movies.
Okay.
So the next one, Dave Fill Me Up Loney is writing
Fill me with baloney?
is writing and directing a film culminating in the events of The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and the other New Republic-focused Disney Plus series. So basically whatever shit they fill in between now and whenever this thing starts production. And his only quote that he has, the only detail we have on this movie is, I'm just excited to make a movie. That's literally all he had to say. How you feel?
I like Dave Filoni, and I think he's done a lot of great stuff with Star Wars. That being said, I caught up on Mandalorian Season 3 this weekend, and I do think this season, which started off really terrible, is starting to course correct a little bit here, and it's not a steady upward trajectory.
You got 2 episodes left.
Yeah.
You think they're gonna bring it home in 2 more episodes?
No, but it's like at least they finally have a direction with what they're doing, because between season 2's like turnaround, like they were like, fuck that plot hole, everything that we did in season 1 and 2, fuck all that shit. And I think they realized that the legends of the Mandalorian people want to know more about that culture, so they've kind of refocused.
Yeah,
that's cool. But I think Dave Filoni is too caught in his narrow band of
miscreants,
his basket of deplorables or whatever. The characters that he created between the prequels and the original trilogy, his set of characters, Ahsoka Tano and all that, he doesn't know how to kind of get out of his lane where he needs to, which is why I think when I think of who should take over after Kathleen, it should be Jon Favreau. It shouldn't be Dave Filoni, because he just doesn't have the same scope and vision.
Got it. Makes sense.
But I'm wondering if this is them seeing that all of this shit doesn't work, wrap it up.
Yeah.
You get 1 movie to close the door on all this shit.
Season 4 is already written. And
Mando?
Yeah. and they have started production on it. Now, you weren't here, but when Ryan from I'd Like a Refund was here, he mentioned that they don't have an ending point in mind.
Clearly.
Because this is, like I said, this is what's keeping you subscribed to Disney Plus. So instead of focusing on it narratively, they're trying to drag this out as long as they can to keep subscribers, number one. And two, the merch, bro. The Grogu merch sells like billions compared to everything else in the Star Wars universe.
That's fair and all, but it to me, you could do like Adventure of the Week. That's fine. Don't make it narrative. But don't give me this backtracking bullshit where it's like you realized you fucked up on your merch sales by getting rid of Grogu, so fuck all the plot that we already developed.
Yeah.
Just how about we check in with Grogu every couple of episodes in his Jedi journey, do a season without him, do 2 seasons without him, and then he comes back and he can talk and he's a fucking Jedi now. There you go.
Yeah.
There's your beloved character.
So then this third movie, Charmin obeyed Chinroy to write and direct the, quote, return of everyone's favorite Skywalker, Daisy Ridley's Daisy Ridley's Rey Palpatine. Because remember, she's a Palpatine.
Yeah,
now
you can't tell me you're a Skywalker, you Palpy.
Now, the only problem that I'm gonna go down on a little bit of a tangent here. So I think Daisy Ridley was a great choice for.
Fantastic.
She was fantastic. I think that she is the number 2 most liked thing about the sequel trilogy behind Adam Driver's Kylo Ren. He's the only consistent thing about those 3 movies.
I think people love the Oscar Isaac too.
Okay,
And John Boyega, but
I'm talking about their characters though. Those John Boyega and Oscar Isaac's characters went nowhere. Daisy Ridley, they couldn't figure out what the fuck to do with.
Well, that was more
Kylo Ren is the only consistent character in all 3 of those movies, right?
consistent character and incredible performance.
Yes.
For sure.
Unfortunately, they killed that guy off, so they can't do. Well, honestly, not
No,
unfortunately.
dude.
Just it was a great send off. But
they're gonna bring him back.
They'll figure it out.
They'll do it just like they did.
So-
Somehow he came back.
So yeah. So, when this movie got announced, it was not even polarizing. It was who the fuck asked for this? Not a single person. It was dying to see Rey again.
You didn't even you're burying the lead. Rey is
Hold on, wait. I want to get to that point. I know what you want to say. I'll let you say it.
Rebuilding an old
I know.
El Camino.
Yep, he's gotten in the classic
He's in the
car
garage.
restoration. It's just he'll finish it one day.
Yeah.
So the director, Charmin Chinroy, I hope I'm not butchering that. She has a certain filmography that let's just say that is not exactly extensive. She directed Miss Marvel, which half of it was good. You know, that series really turned around on episode 4.
She wrote it or
Directed it. So I'm just gonna read the first 3 things that she's that just what her basic summary is on Wikipedia. And I want you to tell me if we're going back to bad Star Wars already.
Okay.
She is a journalist, filmmaker, and activist known for her work in films that highlight the, quote, inequality of women, quote.
Okay.
That's
all you're giving me so far?
No, that's it. That's all I need to give you. So.
Doesn't this feel like
this
is what they were going to do with Patty Jenkins? And then they totally just
that's kind of my point.
her from the fucking slate.
That's kind of my point. Is that I feel like this is another one of those like James Mangold's movie and Dave Filoni's movie for whatever it's gonna be. That is like we're at least trying. Like we're putting our best foot forward. Quality is our priority, right? Remember how they said that? Remember a couple of years, I think like a year ago.
Yeah.
A year ago we talked about how there's no Star Wars movie in 3 years. Quality is our priority and shit. I feel like this is another vanity project for Kathleen Kennedy.
It could be.
And listen, we have talked about it before on the show. We've talked about it, just in our normal conversations. We don't think it's like overtly in your face, but there's absolutely some sort of political messaging in the sequel trilogy with how certain characters are written.
I mean, some are more
overt than others. Yes,
but I think it's like the main thing is that we always say is it's good to have messaging.
Yes,
it's bad to make that the point of
but
it.
That's the problem I have already with this is that it doesn't look like this is. Listen, I'm not putting the cart before the horse, but I'm just saying it has the air of that already. You know what I mean?
We've been burned before.
Why wouldn't you stick with Patty Jenkins if you wanted to make a great film?
Yeah.
Why would you go with someone who's only directed a couple episodes of a TV show?
Yeah.
Because they have a certain point of view?
I think...
You know what I mean?
The other thing that's frustrating, too, is Star Wars has a ton of great female lead characters.
Bunch.
And you can tell a lot of stories that way. Now we're retreading this, rebuilding the Jedi Order thing, and it's like, just tell a new story. You can keep Rey, whatever, and just like let it. Like, why are we rebuilding the Jedi Order? There's going to be a new Death Star, right?
But why?
Well, obviously, because they don't know. They're creatively bankrupt,
and that's the other thing too. Why go with this director who already has a body of controversial work? Which I'm not going to go through it all, but I'm saying that like Kathleen Kennedy has been accused of certain things throughout her tenure at Star Wars, like putting the messaging before the story, right? I'm like I said, I'm not going to get into all the incel shit, but I'm just saying, dude, it's one of those things that like we've talked about it before. This has that air already.
And what's frustrating about that too is that they don't even stick to their guns. And obviously this is above Kathleen Kennedy, but with the point with like the gay kiss in the background that they stuck there so they could chop it out for China. It's like,
yep.
You don't have any principles at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's pandering.
Exactly. I mean, listen, it's the one thing where they were like, they set up having a black Jedi in The Force Awakens, and yet realized they could not make any money with these movies in China if they had a black lead.
Did they even cut him out of the poster?
Yeah, they cut him out of the poster, all the marketing. Like people were leaving that movie going, I didn't even know that this guy was in here. So like. They have no morals at the end of the day. It's about the bottom line. Yeah. So it's one of those things where I'm saying it's a vanity project for Kathleen Kennedy.
I don't even think vanity project is the right term, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a dumb man. Anyway, so
what's going on here? Hustle.
So like you were saying before, Nick, the movie will be set in quote a new Jedi Academy with Jedi Master Rey attempting to rebuild the Jedi Order like Luke Skywalker did before her.
And created...
Explain to me why you think nobody wants to see the movie where Luke builds the Jedi Academy and it all goes wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We already set that up in Mandalorian season 2. Remember how he was super dogmatic about Grogu? Like, he's got to cut off this. He can't. Like, it's like, oh, they're starting to justify some of the beliefs that Luke held going into his new Jedi Order, where he did not create a new belief system. He stuck to the old ways.
But not the thing that's, I keep saying it, the thing that frustrates me, it all frustrates me, is everything that we know about Luke from Mandalorian through the sequel trilogy conflicts with his whole journey in the original trilogy.
Yes.
And now, like,
you have the opportunity to try and give that context, to try and flesh that out, and you're just like, let's just put that all behind us, and like
we'll take our new character and just let her do this thing that they like. So much of the story of Rian Johnson's Star Wars, I forget which one it was, because I'm bad at remembering names.
The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi was like, I think that actually, despite how much I hate it in the context of things, on its own, I think in a vacuum, it's the best one.
Yeah.
But like all the messaging of let the past die and all that could have been such a great way to move the franchise in a different direction. And here we are rebuilding the Jedi Order, the thing that set the whole prequel trilogy, the sequel trilogy in motion was Luke rebuilding the Jedi Order and realizing all the flaws of the Jedi. Why are we doing this again?
Yeah.
Why are we doing
And
this
then
again?
going back on it in Mandalorian and being like, I've learned nothing, you know? So it's just one of those things where like I said, it's not even controversial. Every single person who's reacted to this has been like, love Daisy Ridley. The fuck are they doing over there though?
Yeah.
And
it'd be cool to see her go on, you know, like if you want to give her another movie, give her like a solo adventure type thing where it's not like, oh, I'm gonna rebuild the Jedi Order. Put her out and like she can do whatever now.
yeah.
Let me guess. She's going to reestablish the Jedi Order on fucking Tatooine, and we're going to see the same fucking characters that we see in every, you know, like, she's going to run into Mando and shit, you know, like, or like.
Yeah. This takes place 15 years after the end of.
Yeah. And the Jedi Temple is going to be at
Rise of Skywalker.
Luke's house, the fucking moisture farm, and from, you know, like.
Exactly.
Dude.
Now,
like,
is she a Palpatine or a Skywalker, Nick?
Well, in her heart, she's a Skywalker, and it was approved by the ghosts of Luke and Leia. They gave a big thumbs up.
I like how the whole point of that movie is it doesn't matter what your namesake is, and
until
the very
unless
last
you're a
second,
Skywalker.
who are you? Rey Skywalker. Ah, never mind then. Like,
your parents were filthy junk traders. Never mind. It was Palpatine's kid.
yeah, it turns out you're the granddaughter of. Just fucking don't get me started. But yeah, like I said,
And they don't have an end in mind for Mandalorian. We saw how well it worked out for the original trilogy, but let's not plan ahead for fucking Mandalorian.
Well, I feel like that screenwriting 101 is you have your start, your ending. What are you filling in?
Fill in the middle.
Exactly. All right, so here's our 2 trailers. First thing we got was an Ahsoka series full trailer. There's no word on what the official plot yet is, but to me it just looks like.
Did you see my mention on Discord?
Going around doing gray Jedi things. Yeah, I have that in here. The cast is stacked though. The cast has Rosario Dawson, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Natasha Bordizzo, David Tennant, Ray Stevenson, Lars Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Is he related to?
They're brothers.
Okay.
Mad's brother.
And Hayden Christensen is also confirmed to come back.
Jack Black and Lizzo.
Yeah. Yep, they're in the show too.
Christopher Lloyd.
Lars Mikkelsen is coming back as he played him in the animated show.
Yeah.
And now he's the live action Grand Admiral Thrawn, I think his name is.
Yeah, who is a legacy character from the expanded universe.
So is Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character as well. Ray Stevenson's character and David Tennant's character are also legacy characters.
Oh yeah, which is cool, and I'm interested to see. I didn't watch. I think Thrawn is in Rebels, one of the Clone Wars era shows. I don't watch those. I probably should, but I'm interested to see because he like his character is different than how he's in play in the expanded universe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see what they do with it because it is a super popular character, and it's like you can't afford to fuck this up.
What about Cad Bane? Remember how?
Yeah,
I'm just like I said, it's got that stink of it.
Yeah. This I think it'll be like I said, I trust Filoni to, play with his characters. I don't, but then we have Mandalorian season 3, and it's been shitty. I don't know. I'm hopeful for this one.
This will consist of 8 episodes. And
not enough. Well, wait,
and
were they doing 6 or 8?
They're 9 for. It depends. Like Obi-Wan was 6. Book of Boba Fett
If you're
was
doing
6.
television,
How
just
long
do
are
12
they gonna
episodes.
be? Are they going to be like 8?
Half hour probably.
Oh God.
It's not.
So this will
that
consist
scares
of
me.
8 episodes and will release in August of 2023.
I want to just look up how many episodes was Westworld season 1.
Probably 10 if it's HBO.
Episodes.
So Liz,
Yes.
we haven't really asked you about all this Star Wars stuff. How do you feel about these movies that they got coming out?
10.
Based on their track record for the last 6 months to a year, I'm not too
Since
thrilled.
Disney bought them.
Okay, yeah.
But don't you want to be there for the Rey turn?
Sure.
The Renaissance.
I don't know. I'll take what they give me and I'll be happy and
You know,
shut
and
up.
here's the other thing
Exactly.
too. Here's the other thing too. I don't want to shit on Daisy Ridley, but her career is not like the other three like it's not like Adam Driver or John Boyega or who's the other one?
Oscar Isaac.
Who they have left Star Wars. I mean, Oscar Isaac had a career before Star Wars, but they have all left Star Wars and gone on to do very big projects. They've been nominated for awards. They've gone to Broadway.
Like John Boyega was like actively talking shit on Star Wars.
Exactly. Like they have all gone and done their own thing, and they have all had successful careers. What have you seen Daisy Ridley in since Rise of
That video
Skywalker?
game.
Oh yeah, it's 12 minutes.
Yeah.
She's also in Kenneth Branagh murders a guy on a train. What is it?
Oh, Murder on the Orient.
That's the one.
Help! Kenneth Branagh murdered me.
Yeah.
You're forgetting she was in the classic Peter Rabbit in 2018.
Oh, right. That's the one they had to edit. They had to send an edited version of to the movie theaters because there was a peanut allergy joke, and mothers got upset. Bunch of Karens. I'm trying to. Oh, she was also in that movie Chaos Walking with Tom Holland that they shot in fucking 2018, but it was so bad that they've had numerous different cuts and reshoots to try and get it in some sort of releasable state. It came out. It was awful.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, I don't think Daisy Ridley's been having a great go of it.
She has a movie coming out this year. She has Sometimes I Think About Dying coming out this year.
I did Star Wars.
It's a documentary about Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, that's the thing is that it does not seem that she's had a very ginormous career compared to like where you'd be after, because at
After
least
being the lead character
in Star Wars.
in
And
this
that's the thing is
mega
that
juggernaut.
at least like, you see that happen with like people who are part of big franchise films. If they do like 3 or 4 in a row, they're like, I need a fucking break. And they'll go take some years off, or they'll go do some smaller stuff, or they go do Broadway, or they just figure something out that they're not always in the limelight. They're not always having that attention. Like they've made the most money that they're going to make. But then you also have Keanu Reeves, who did 3 Matrix films and then had a bunch of other movies after that. Like he had Constantine. Maybe it was just
that's it.
he had a bunch of smaller movies, and then he has all the John Wick movies. And I mean, Keanu's
he's got like, if you actually look at his
Bill and Ted. Those are other movies.
before, but yeah.
But that's my point. Is that
Yeah.
also
Point Break,
big franchise
Speed
films.
1 and 2.
Exactly.
Was he in 2?
No.
I don't think he was in 2.
Big franchise films that what's it called? That it wasn't like he had his 3 and then
Dracula
he went
2000.
home. That's actually Bram Stoker's Dracula. We're
Sorry.
confusing it. That's
Which one was that? With Dracula 2000.
Dracula-
Was that Gary Oldman?
no, that's also Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I want to look up. Pull up Keanu Reeves.
Count Dracula was Gerard Butler. Or the other way around.
Count Dracula was Gerard Butler the whole time.
All along.
Yeah, I want to know what he did, but like after the Matrix. Oh god.
Oh shit.
Doesn't it have it like
You know what? His filmography is probably so fucking crazy
that they made an
that they
extra
made
page
their
for
own
it?
page for it. Yeah.
Yeah, fine. We'll talk about it later.
No, I got it. I'm already
it?
here. The power of the internet. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So first Matrix was 99, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the Matrix. And then he was in The Replacements, The
Yeah, just
Watcher.
give us the big ones.
Okay, The Replacements, Hardball, Matrix Reloaded, Animatrix. I didn't know he was in Animatrix.
Yeah.
Matrix Revolutions, obviously. Something's Gotta Give, Constantine, Scanner Darkly, The Lake House. That's a big one too. The Day the Earth Stood Still,
Oh yeah.
47 Ronin. He's got a couple of stinkers in here. Then after 47 Ronin, he did John Wick, Keanu, the movie about the cat, John Wick
I
2,
didn't realize he was in
The Bad
Keanu.
Batch, John Wick 3, Toy Story 4, and this is right around the Keanu, SpongeBob movie.
The Keanu
Sponge.
songs.
So
You
what
know,
I'm
Bill
I'm
and
hearing
Ted.
is we should replace Daisy Ridley with Keanu Reeves.
He would
Yes.
make a cool Jedi.
He would make a really cool Jedi.
Here's what I want to know.
If he could be silent.
Well, yes. I would love to see them take the influences of Star Wars and kind of distill those things. They've done the Western thing. Obviously, a lot of the Book of Boba Fett does that. But like, do some samurai shit. Do some Buck Rogers shit. Really dig into the influences of where Star Wars came from and mine that shaft.
Get us off a Tatooine.
Yeah.
What has the phrase go? Mine that shaft.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Mind that crap.
Stroke my shaft.
Stroke my shaft.
Anyway, all right. So this is the other legitimate thing I was excited for last thing for Star Wars Celebration. Then we'll move on to the Marriott Brothers movie. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny had a new trailer come out, and I was already excited from the last one that they did, the last trailer that they put out. I was excited when they said they were shooting this, especially when they said it was James Mangold. So we do have an official plot synopsis now. The year is 1969. American archaeologist and adventurer Indiana Jones lives against the backdrop of the space race. I love how it's always some cool shit like that. Jones is uneasy over the fact that the U.S. government has recruited former Nazis to help beat the Soviet Union in the competition to make it to space. Once again, another historical backdrop, which is... It's so refreshing to hear that they got it, you know what I mean? At least as far as the setting is concerned, because I feel like that was always a thing. It was like the Nazis, like in the 1940s, and then when they did Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, for all that's worth, it's about like the nuclear testing in the Soviets,
Cold
you know,
War type stuff.
His goddaughter Helena Shaw accompanies him on his journey. Meanwhile, Jürgen Voller, who is Mads Mikkelsen, is a NASA member and an ex-Nazi involved with the moon landing program, as he wishes to make the world a better place as he sees fit.
There you go.
Just the cast is Harrison.
So we don't know anything about the dial.
Harrison Ford. I mean, dude, come on. The dial, it's a time dial. They're going back in time.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Despite the fact that she is in the future in the trailer and in the past with young Indy.
I didn't get that from the trailer. We'll have to rewatch it.
Okay. Harrison Ford.
Dial of Destiny. He's probably doing something at NASA. That's the dial.
No, they showed the dial in the trailer. She literally picks it up. Who are you?
Let's rewatch it. Not right
Harrison
now, but
Ford,
later.
Phoebe Waller-Bridges, Toby Jones, everyone's favorite Nazi, Mads Mikkelsen, Antonio Banderas.
All right, hold on. Every time you say this woman's name, you do it wrong.
What?
Isn't it Phoebe Waller-Bridge?
No, it's Bridges.
What?
Yes.
Show me. Because one time you called her Phoebe Waller-Bridger. Now you're saying Phoebe Bridges.
Look, see, there it is. Phoebe
Waller-Bridge.
Whatever. Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
PWB.
PWB.
Yes, that's...
Mads Mikkelsen, Antonio Banderas, who he was actually in the first trailer.
I haven't seen him
he's
in a
not
while.
in the second one. John Rhys Davis and Boyd Holbrook, who is playing. He's the like right hand man of Jürgen Voller.
He's the Goebbels.
Yes, he's the Goebbels. This is written and directed by James Mangold. They brought him on after what he had done in Logan. You know,
after what he did to Logan.
Yeah. Mangold is said to be offered the project after working on Ford v Ferrari with Spielberg. Mangold said that his inspiration while writing and directing Dial of Destiny was Raiders of the Lost Ark. Well, good. I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad he figured that out.
Imagine if he said Crystal Skull. No.
Mangold said, quote, "It's a movie that's a trailer from beginning to end. It will always be moving," which thank Christ, because I feel like that was the biggest issue with Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls.
What do you mean?
They kept
Shia was swinging with the monkeys and shit.
This movie has a budget of $295 million.
How much do you think it's going to make?
It's going to make over $1 billion. It's Indiana Jones.
He's good. This Indiana Jones movie is going to make James Cameron real mad.
Make him look like a
He's
poor
like,
guy.
I'm going to have to put my movie back in theaters again.
The runtime is said to be 142 minutes. That's a
Do
long
some math for
Indiana
me.
Jones. Well, 120 minutes is 2 hours.
Okay, all right.
So it's 2.5.
Little tangent. I heard that the previously mentioned Killers of the Flower Moon
It's
is
4
like
hours.
4 hours.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, Marty, what are you doing?
This will be released at Cannes Film Festival on May 18th, but the worldwide release will be June 30th. If they are confident enough in this to put it out at Cannes on May 18th.
Cannes?
Isn't it Cannes?
Can.
There's 2 N's.
Yep.
Okay. May 18th, but worldwide release is June 20th. If they're confident enough to throw it at festivals before it goes worldwide, that means that they
got some
believe
big
in it.
swinging balls.
Oh, yeah. It's the same thing with the Flash movie. If they're willing to throw it out at festivals before the worldwide release, damn, we're getting the Flash and then this the week after. Or no, 2 weeks after.
It's going to be a good time to
Yeah.
be us.
Good time to be alive. So yeah, this is the one thing that and it's obvious why they saved it for the end. It's because this is the one thing I think they are 100% confident in.
Yeah. Well, good.
You got nothing else for me after the okay.
I like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And I like when they don't ruin it.
Pat, how many times will you see this in theaters?
Indiana Jones 5?
Yeah.
Depends on how good it is.
At least 5 times.
I mean,
I feel like we'll see it at least twice.
definitely. So that actually brings me to my next question. So Nick,
Oh, yeah.
how confident are you that any of these things are going to get made?
Indiana Jones?
No.
is gonna
Honestly,
get
the
made?
first 3 movies that I mentioned, how confident that they're actually going to make... Like, I would not be surprised if that Rey movie gets shit canned in a year.
Yeah, I think, to me, I would hope the James Mangold one makes it through, but it's the only one that's not connected to a previously existing property, so who the hell knows if it's going to make it.
Yeah.
The Dave Filoni one is almost a sure bet because Dave Filoni is one of the
Executives.
driving forces of the studio. And yeah, the Rey one, I think I think has a good chance. I'd say like 65 to 70% chance.
So you have your Reyservations.
I have my reservations because they do like to bank on their stars. I mean, look at all the fucking cameos in Mandalorian Season 3. Daisy Ridley is an established character, so despite how everybody's misgivings, it's like they're talking about doing another Lando, or they're doing like a Lando spinoff. It's like, you fucked up Lando in the Han Solo movie.
So
like, I love Donald Glover, but like, just do something new.
So before we get off this subject, Variety caught Kathleen Kennedy at Star Wars Celebration.
They caught her?
They caught her
They got a
red-handed.
big butterfly net.
Oh no! And she obviously, they asked her some questions revolving all of these stuff, and here's what she had to say about the Rey turn of Daisy Ridley.
Okay.
It was a pretty straightforward phone call. It started out as, "Hey, I think we're getting near being ready. We've been talking a lot about what we're doing in the movie space, and I said, I think we're close to being ready. How would you like to come to Celebration?" That was really the beginning of it. She was excited out of her mind. They don't have a story in place, Nick. They don't have any plans. They're doing it again. They are doing it again.
I just don't understand how
Kennedy offered an update on Lucasfilm's collaboration with Rian Johnson, who is potentially working on the new Star Wars trilogy. Ryan and I talk all the time. He is unbelievably busy, so we're not actively involved in anything at the moment because he's doing another one of the Glass Onion movies, and then God knows what else. But he really wants
the Glass Onion movies.
he really wants to step back into the space. It's a big commitment of time, so that's really on him. You ready for the next one?
So it sounds like she's mad at him for doing other projects.
Taika Waititi is also working on a standalone Star Wars universe, and Kennedy gave an update on that as well. Taika's still really working away. He's writing the script himself. He doesn't really want to bring others into that process, and I don't blame him. He's a very, very unique voice. So
He's a unique boy.
So we want to protect that, and that's what he's doing. So we're going to make that one day. It's like, oh, lady, what are you doing? So then Kennedy also fielded the inquiry about a potential second season of the Obi-Wan series.
Oh yeah, this is
Some
great.
fans have pushed for a follow-up adventure to Ewan McGregor's iconic Jedi, and thank Christ this was the way they went about this. That is not in active development, but I never say never. Yeah, you never say never when the well is dry.
Yeah,
Because there's always the possibility. The show.
that's the thing. The never say never. Because they don't know what the fuck is happening next.
The show.
Maybe someday we'll need to go there. Maybe not.
The show was so well received, and Deborah Chow did such a spectacular job. Ewan McGregor really wants to do another. Everybody's all hands on deck with what we're doing right now, as you can see by what we showed everybody at the celebration. We'll turn our attention to that again maybe down the road. It's just like,
I'm shocked.
first of all, it was not well received.
Kenobi's got a 7.1 on IMDb and an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. Regular people liked it. I didn't.
Those are critics.
Oh, I guess, yeah, that's fair. Let me see. IMDb. Oh, no, Rotten Tomatoes. What did the fans think on Rotten Tomatoes? 63%. Okay, you're right. Regular people didn't like it.
That's what I'm saying.
How did the critics like it? Definitely paid. I saw that post.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
those critics
I
definitely
think
getting a little grease.
I think it was I'll reserve those thoughts for when they're not recorded on a podcast.
Yeah.
But I know why that those critics go the way that they do. Which is actually a good jumping off point for Star Wars, because we've talked a lot of Star Wars today.
We have.
But yeah, I'm excited for Indy. It's coming out in 2 months. Can't wait to see that.
It's always great that we're talking about Star
Wars,
Wars,
and I'm excited for
Indiana
Indiana.
Jones is the only thing we're excited about.
I'm dying to see that what James Mangold does with Star Wars, because he is a great writer and director. I mean, I'll show up for Dave Filoni if any of those movies even get made. I mean, that last one specifically,
The Mangold
Chin
one.
Roy, with Daisy Ridley and Ray. I would not be surprised if that gets canceled in a year from now.
Yeah,
They're like, it's just we don't have a story, we don't have a plan, we don't have anything in place, but we're gonna go ahead and do it. So, Liz, what about you?
Yeah, I'm excited about Indiana Jones. That's right. I could see probably Daisy getting canned, unfortunately. What was the first one we talked about?
James Mangold.
Yeah, that's
the Jedi Jesus.
yeah. Honestly, like that's probably the only one realistically I think that might get made.
Yeah.
But if we get 2 for 3, that's not bad.
But that's the thing is, like, I want to say these won't get made, but again, it's like the James Mangold one sounds good, and they have faith in him. The Dave Filoni one sounds okay, and he's already like a huge part of the series, so it's probably gonna get made. Daisy Ridley one sounds it's gonna be bad, but they know they can bank on people going to see Daisy Ridley. I think they all have a pretty good shot.
I'll be surprised.
That's the thing. Is
Color
it
me surprised.
the whims of the Lucasfilm execs are hard to predict.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
She's the one you can't predict. I feel like the other ones, if they had free reign, we'd be getting movies every other year at this point, and they'd be good. And they'd be good, because remember, all these projects have to be approved by her.
A year ago, if we were to talk about Taika Waititi writing his own Star Wars movies, I would have been like, fuck yeah. But after the last year that he's had, I'm like scared. I don't know if I can trust him.
Oh no, Taika, please
I'm like an abused, a partner.
Better Woman Shelter.
Yeah.
All right. So, speaking of Better Woman Shelter.
No. Bad.
I was trying to think of what franchise is the battered woman shelter to the Star Wars franchise right now. Who's doing it right?
This is
Who's
bad.
doing it right?
Who's treating us right?
Oh,
HBO.
I guess Last of Us. Well, no, they had that PC port was awful.
They had that stinker of a House of the Dragon, or what the fuck is the show called?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Okay.
The stinker season. But
We've
All right.
forgiven them.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
I
let's
think
move
they're
on to the
forgiven.
main topic for tonight. Super Mario Bros. Movie.
this is the one featuring Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo.
That's right.
Right.
This is directed by Aaron Harvoth and Michael Jellick, who they both previously directed Teen Titans Go to the Movies. I don't know if you've seen that.
I heard about that.
It's awesome, actually. It's really funny. It's really creative, and it's very cute. It's a cute movie. So before we get into it, let's just start off with some box office. This movie already made over $200 million alone in the U.S. It has made $380 million worldwide. It puts it squarely on track for the billion plus club. There's only a few movies that fill in that space. Already, this has the largest opening for any animated film ever, surpassing Frozen 1 and Frozen 2.
How about Sonic? Where
Sonic's not animated.
Oh, true. Yeah,
I finally watched Sonic 2, by the way.
Sonic
okay.
2 or Sonic as well?
Sonic 2.
Okay.
It's okay.
Has this released in Japan yet? I don't think it did, right?
It was a worldwide release.
I don't
You're
know.
talking about China. China is where this is going to make all its money. But the point, so the only reservation I have about the $1 billion club is that the $1 billion club is not a 1-for-1 thing. It's a repeat business thing. And I feel like this is not going to have the legs for repeat business. I think,
bro.
But dude,
This is gonna be.
I'm telling you, man, it's not like sing-alongs. It's not like,
What about Bowser?
like I said, it's not like sing-alongs.
You were singing.
Beaches,
Early.
beaches, 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 beaches.
Okay, redemption arc for me over here. The Super Mario Bros. Movie was released theatrically in the United States on April 5th and will be released in Japan on April 28th. So it hasn't even made probably the biggest chunk of its income.
Okay, but what about China?
Yeah, I think all of the Asian markets are gonna fucking explode the box office no matter what.
It did come out on April 5th in China.
Oh, look at that.
Good for you.
I let her have her way.
Anyway.
You did. Thank you.
So, let's get into non-spoilers first. I think despite this movie's shortcomings, because there are quite a bit, I loved it.
I don't think I have a single bad thing to say about it. It's I really thought it was going to be a kiddie movie. It was fine. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Wasn't great, but it was just a fun hour and a half.
I think what separates
laughed a couple times.
What separates this Illumination film from the other ones is that an attempt was made. Like, they tried. Whereas, I'm not sure if you've seen the Minions movies. I'm not sure if you've seen the
Have I seen the Minions movies?
Despicable Me, Trolls.
All
Trolls World Tour.
they don't even try those movies.
Yeah, they're just for kids.
Yeah, where this one I felt like they knew they were gonna have an audience of people in their 50s and 40s who wanted to see this.
So I watched before going to see this movie, I watched your boy Chris Stuckman, and he was like, "Keep in mind, this movie is for kids. It's not for nostalgic millennials." And I was like, when I heard that, I almost called you and said, "Fuck this movie. Let's see the Bob Ross Paint movie."
Air also came out too.
But just based on what Chris Stuckman said, but I sat there and watched the movie and I was like, "Oh, this was enjoyable." I didn't feel like my mind was melting because it was so stupid. It was fun.
I think clearly this is a children's movie first, but it's not one of those super dumbed down ones, because it is chock full of references, Easter eggs from the SNES all the way up to the Switch. Straight up Mario levels were represented really well in this movie, and I really like that. The voice cast was great. I think we'll get to Chris Pratt, but Chris Pratt is Mario, Charlie Day is Luigi, Anya Taylor-Joy is Princess Peach, Keegan-Michael Key is Toad, which they definitely changed his voice from the first trailer to the theatrical release.
It was definitely pitched up.
Jack Black is Bowser. Fred Armistice is
Armisen.
is,
Fred Armistice. He's Cranky Kong.
Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong, and Sebastian Maniscalco is Spike.
Is Spike a character from the games?
No, not at all. Dude, they added a lot. They added a lot to Mario. But that's the thing.
You have to.
The whole thing was like, have you played any of the new Mario games at all?
No.
Okay,
I've only played
there
like
is
classic.
zero story and zero characterization for anybody.
What
in
about the
those
newer
games.
ones? Like I saw, like we were watching the trailer a while back where he's like in space and shit.
Super Mario Odyssey?
Yeah, and it's like
Super Mario Odyssey. There's not a.
But
I mean,
it's not like a
there's-
compelling narrative. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's like I'm here to jump on shit and
it's
do
just
cool
a different
flips.
environment.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. Is like, I don't think that I was not expecting like Mario to be like a fucking alcoholic or something, and he's got to get over his alcoholism or some shit like that.
That
You
was,
know what I mean?
that was the best part of the movie. Is when he had to go to rehab.
Mario goes to AA halfway. I'm so depressed. So
we're all gonna go around a room and everybody introduce yourself. It's me, Mario.
So that's what I loved is that like they didn't drag it down with like unnecessary characterizations or like like this is very much a rote like Mario plot. You know what I mean? Like this is exactly like Bowser's trying to fuck Peach. Mario's not gonna let that happen.
Yeah.
Depending on which
Well, I
version
mean-
of the Newgrounds games you're playing.
It was more about Luigi, but
That's true too. I was not. Well, I mean, I feel like they had to change that. You know what I mean?
to get him to Mushroom Kingdom
Yeah.
and get the plot.
We'll go
going,
into
yeah.
that. But so what do you think of Chris Pratt?
I think he did a fine.
He's
job.
fine. He
Yeah.
was fine. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, what are they? It's how
What
could
I-
they?
what I
what could they
was-
do? Chris Pratt? It's just like, what were you
That-
afraid
that
of? Like,
trailer, the fact that they the first time we hear the voice is that line where he's like Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. Like that was not the line that you used. That was dumb. But throughout the movie he did a fine job. But minor spoiler, it's not a plot spoiler, is Charles Martinet, the original voice of Mario, does make a cameo, and they just made him some dude.
no, he's Jumpman.
All right, but why didn't they make him Mario's dad, who had like actual like
Because
lines?
it's the same thing I said when the first trailer came out. You can't have a character in a feature length film talk like
Mario's
that.
dad didn't have a lot of lines.
But dude, even then, it wouldn't make sense. Like, dude, when they took off their gloves, is this a spoiler? When they took,
I think so. I would call it a spoiler.
But my point is that any amount of dialogue other than what that was on that cameo would have been too much because it's not like Mario speaks in the video games like that. That's Waaahaaa, Mamma Mia, like all the that's
I hate that my head went to that sound like wah.
like that's who he is. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
I like the sound when he hits a banana. I don't know if this is him or Luigi when he's like, oh wow 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 wow.
Luigi. That's Luigi. Man, I just wanted, but I don't really have. There's not too much to like get in the weeds here, non-spoilery. There's just moments I want to talk about.
Right, yeah.
So
It was a good movie. It was a good movie.
it was a good movie. It was good.
Um,
I'd give it like a 6.5, a 7. Like
What?
yeah,
Really?
yeah. Because there's some things. I mean, there's 2 things I would change, but I feel like those are spoilers.
I give it like an 8. For what they were trying to do, for what they were trying to accomplish, it's great.
2 things.
Are we getting into spoilers? now?
Liz, what would you give it?
I agree with Nick. I would actually probably give this closer to an 8 too.
See, here's the thing. I thought when I came out of the movie, I was like, I would give that like an 8, 8.5. But then upon retrospect, it's like, this was like Dungeons and Dragons where it's like I was chuckle laughing. There was no like side splitting laughter where I feel like when I see a Pixar movie, like those get belly laughs out of me. I'm like, oh fuck, that joke's actually really funny, or like, oh, that's actually really compelling. And
But
I didn't
also,
feel like
this is a movie for kids, though.
dude, I know. Okay, I'm not a
that's the
child.
difference. Well, I mean, some would say you are, but
No,
you sit in a
would
room
say.
surrounded by toys.
These are
and
not children can't afford this. Okay,
You're right. You're a big baby.
I'm a big boy.
You're a big boy.
I'm a big boy. All right.
No, I think 6.5 is a failing grade, and this movie did not fail. Did I enjoy it enough to give it a 10? No, but did it like really like did it clear a lot of the hurdles that like previous video game movies have struggled with? For sure.
All right.
I'd give it an 8. Liz will give it an 8.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 7.
7.5.
We're not bartering over scores.
We're bargaining here.
Okay.
So we'll average out to a 7.5.
Yeah.
No. 7.75. Were there 2 8s?
I'm not good at math.
Yeah,
so
but he's also not giving this a 7.5. So
I'll give it a 7.
Am I bad at math? Keep talking.
Okay. All right. We want to go to spoilers now?
yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
So, all right. So the average of 2 8s and a 7 is 7.6.
Okay. So a 7-7.
7.7.
Okay. Anyway.
7.666.
So the two things that I have the biggest gripes with of this movie is, number one, I don't think Luigi needed to get captured for, like, I feel like Luigi kind of was like, you used him as a plot point as opposed to a character. You used him as motivation for Mario.
You used him as a peach.
Pretty much. And then the other thing, which this is not just me. And when I first heard this, I was like, oh, yeah, right. But then I saw the movie. In context, in context to the rest of the music in the film, when they incorporate the classic Mario music into the score of the film, I was like, that's fucking awesome. I was like, I'm loving these arrangements. Then when it was like 80s film movies, I was like, what?
I've seen a lot of talk about that online, saying it didn't make sense. It didn't bother me and take me out of it. I do think it was an odd choice.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. It didn't bother me and take me out of it, but it's definitely an odd choice. Like, cause there was still stuff going on, like specifically the scene where they're building their carts for the Mario Kart scene. I loved that, and I loved that when they hit the button to put it all together, it was an actual A button that was on a Switch controller, but Thunderstruck by AC/DC is playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it would have been cooler if they had the kart construction music playing.
Yeah.
Or like some sort of arrangement of that. What was the other one? Take On Me was the other one where I was like, what?
Training montage?
No,
right?
it was he hooks up the cart to bring them to CrankyCon or whatever.
Oh, right.
It's just like, why isn't the deacon? Well, you know,
one of the most beloved soundtracks of all time, Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and then what was the other one? I Need a Hero.
Yep.
Just like Shrek did that.
Yeah.
Shrek put the fucking lid on that one. Like, you can't do that anymore. You know what I mean?
That doesn't even bother me. But again, it's like there's such a wealth of great music in the Nintendo catalog. Just use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids don't give a fuck about needle drops.
Exactly. And that was the thing. It was just like you said, it didn't take me out of it, and it wasn't like, ugh, but it was one of those things where it was like, why are they choosing to use this song? I don't know if it's like there was some sort of licensing deal where they have to use that music, or like, you know what I mean? Or there's, I don't know or how much that would cost. Like, I heard, I can't remember his name, but Kai was literally just telling me he's friends with a guy who had a hit song in the 80s. And they used it in some movie recently, and every member of that band got a $2 million check. So these are not cheap things to throw in your movie. You know what I mean?
Especially with those big fucking hits.
Yeah. Talk about the visuals. Beautiful.
Great.
Incredible.
For me, the best visual was Bowser.
He looks great.
Scaling and everything looked incredible.
When he was playing piano and he was actually like playing the parts, I was like, do they have somebody that knows how to play piano already to animate that, or they got to go look up what they're actually doing and then put it all together? Like that
Somebody
really,
like a piano player was mocapped.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That really impressed me. I really love, I love the bright and colorful scenes even at nighttime. Yeah. When there's a whole universe out there, and I was like, oh, there's a Zelda movie coming. Here it comes. You know what I mean? Even that with all the stars and the fire, like, off their face, and like the specifically when they use the power-ups when she touches the flower and the whole thing goes over her. I thought that those were visually, I was just like, this movie is fucking beautiful.
You know what subsurface scattering is?
I've heard the term before.
It's like a visual effects term. When, like, the thing that made the difference between making a human look pretty good and great was the way that your skin,
the pores,
or I guess any, like, there's an example with like a glass of milk. The way that light doesn't bounce off of it, it's like absorbed into the layer of skin. And there was one shot in particular where it was like the light bouncing off of Luigi's mustache and into his skin, and you could see that little bit of like redness in his skin from the light of the mustache, the brown of the mustache.
Yeah.
And it just looked so beautiful and looked like it was, real world lighting.
Yeah. Liz, what'd you think?
I loved it. I was fully engaged. It was cute. It was colorful. We know that hits all of my video game feels anyway. It was very apparent that there was 2 people in this theater that played Luigi's Mansion, and it was only me and Pat.
Yeah.
Because that one sequence was like, I love that one sequence
With the Shy Guys.
Dude, that's the fun. That made me laugh. Was when he's like, "I'm safe," and then the lightning strikes, and all the Shy Guys are in the background.
Also, the sewer scene is straight out of Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah.
And then at one point where he's like, Luigi, you can't be scared all the time. And he's like, you'd be surprised. Pat and I cackled, and the entire theater was quiet.
Wink, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Like,
I did hear, I don't know who this was from. I think it was Chris Pratt, but somebody said something along the lines of, like, we'll see, there has been talks about maybe a Luigi's Mansion. So they are, it seems like, lining that up for...
I would be so.
I think that's
so
people
amped. I
would
loved
lose their
Luigi's Mansion.
fucking minds.
That
the
was
last video game you think to get a direct translation to film.
Yeah, right.
I will
Luigi's
say
Mansion.
that is the first video game I ever like completely finished was Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube in 2020 before Luigi's Mansion
2019.
3 came out.
Speaking of Luigi, why does he got to carry the tool bag and Mario doesn't carry shit?
Because Mario's got a donk.
Not in this movie.
What'd you think of the dog?
What'd you
Francis?
think of the dog? I thought it was
Francis.
funny.
Yeah,
It was a funny sequence.
Dude, but I just kind of felt like it
I
was
really
like,
thought that dog was gonna die.
Yeah, I love how they
Really?
caught it with the plunger too.
Yeah.
That was the difference between this and Dungeons and Dragons. There was risk involved. I thought the dog was going to die. I thought everyone was going to die.
Stakes.
Did you listen to the episode on Dungeons and
I
Dragons?
started listening to it.
It was a flat line. The entire all of us were just like, yeah, it was funny, but it wasn't like
When I started to
Wasn't a
talk
good
about
story.
it, I realized
no
that
the
I
story.
actually
No,
hated it.
The story was. I would say that the story was actually well written. It's just one of those things where it's like you can't make a Marvel movie outside of the MCU 15 years after the audience has been desensitized to Marvel movies because that's really what it is. Anyway, back to
I'm glad you cut
yeah.
that off because I would have started
Yeah.
talking about it.
Anyway, Super Mario. Some of the obviously like the big moments that I loved, the Mario Kart sequence.
Francis the dog.
Francis the dog. I loved when they decided to just run to the job, and
Yeah.
you go through the 2D section.
Yeah.
Then when they first get to the Mushroom Kingdom, you go through like Super Mario, like 3D Worlds or whatever, whichever game that was. That was like on the Wii or Wii U or whatever.
Mhm.
They have a remake of it on Switch too, but oh my god, my throat. And then what's the other one?
When they're looking down at the other kingdoms is like a call
yeah.
to Super Mario
Su-
Odyssey.
I thought more specifically Super Mario World on the SNES
With the
because
map.
that's the map.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And then obviously Luigi's Mansion, the Mario Kart sequence, Rainbow Road,
Mhm.
which
Beautiful.
have you guys, when the trailer first came out for Rainbow Road, you guys saw the tweets with the fucking chuds who were like, of course they added a fucking rainbow into the Mario movie.
Fucking
Okay,
idiots.
but one of the funniest ones was somebody was parodying that. And it was like somebody's like, my 8-year-old son came up to me and it's like, Father, why did they add this Rainbow Road into the Mario film? Why must they give us all this wokeness? You just showed your whole ass on the
Yeah.
main with that
You
one.
clearly don't know what you're talking about.
But even then, they added I'm not sure how familiar you are with Mario Kart at all.
The original one for N64.
Yeah.
That was my jam.
Well, that's not the original one. There's one for SNES too.
Oh, fuck that. N64 is the only system that matters.
Fuck all that. But you can jump the track in Mario Kart, and I love that they did that in the. I was like, all right, they did their homework.
Yeah.
When Donkey Kong and Mario sieged the fucking castle together, I was super hyped on that. But even outside of that, I mean, like, it's just they started doing the whole 2D thing again. And it's like, oh, they're using power-ups, they're breaking bricks, they're doing this, or that, you know, like, it was very much it was one of those things where I felt like, I was like, damn, yo, you don't really, like, think about these things, especially I feel like as a boy growing up, you don't think about these things, but it's like, I'm more familiar with the cast of the Mario games than I am with like any Disney property growing up because I'm a gamer. You know what I mean? And it was one of those things where it's just like, damn, they really understood what it means to play a Mario game and how to translate that on film. Yeah, the characterization and the fucking story isn't great. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things.
Simple.
It's just one of those things where I walked in and I was like, all the Mario games are like that though. The gameplay is amazing and the story is nothing special. Like,
so you mentioned Mario and Donkey Kong, and I liked that the first interaction between them is antagonistic because obviously that's the origin right there is Donkey Kong and Mario. And they did a good job of making them like begrudging allies and then eventually becoming friendly. The one thing I wish we did see DK like smashing barrels, and he does throw
all
them.
his Super Smash Brothers moves.
I wish that we did get one like in that arena where they were fighting. I wish we did get like rolling the barrels down. That would have been fun.
What'd you think of Cat Mario?
That was cool.
Liz?
Loved it.
Cat
Absolutely. I'm sorry. The Cat Mario and also Raccoon. Oh, perfect. Amazing. Because in the remake that they did for what is it, 3D World, the one that they just came out with, that's like a big thing in it. You are like typically always Cat or Raccoon Mario. At least when I play. Maybe it's just me.
What'd you think of the star?
I don't think it really made a lot of sense to the plot, but it's whatever. It's a Mario movie.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I don't know why Bowser didn't just use it.
No, not that. I mean the blue star.
I thought you meant like he was fucking hilarious. He was great.
Yeah, he was great. I liked him.
The sweet, really like the mercy of death.
I like the wedding scene where like King Bob-omb's there.
Yeah.
King Boo is there.
Yep.
There's a bunch of Shy Guys, a bunch of Koopa Troopers. Like that Liz actually pointed out in one scene of the movie where he's like, Koopas, Goombas, whatever you guys are, because we don't got a name for those. Once again, like I said, those things really told me that they did their homework.
Are the penguins part of the games?
Super Mario 64, baby.
Yeah.
You raise Mama Penguin, and then you return the baby to him, you know?
Okay.
They're also in Super Mario Odyssey.
I think are they in Mario Kart? That one like ice level?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry. They're a part. The only things that weren't a part of established canon are Mario's family.
Yeah.
Dude, when they took the gloves off, I was like, put the gloves back on, please, for the love of God. It's so weird to see them with like real human hands.
Dude, that didn't bother me.
Spike, whoever the fucking plumber that was dressed like Jumpman that Charles Martinet played, you know?
Yeah.
And I also forgot.
Was he a plumber? I thought he was just a patron of the pizzeria.
Well, he's dressed like.
He's not a plumber, though.
Oh, okay. I like how the phone, Luigi's phone, they smashed.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Had the GameCube music. One of the, God, it was right on the tip of my tongue. Fuck. We'll talk about Jack Black instead. The first musical number he does.
Yeah, what's the first one?
It's a variation on the Peaches song, but the one that he ended up doing at the end credits sequence was excellent. I
I was gonna stick around for the mid and post credit scene, but then I was just like, I don't care that much to stick around, so I just walked out.
The mid credit scene was the full Peaches.
Well, so the one that we watched
No,
when I
no,
first
no.
got here.
Well, that's just a music video they put out.
Right.
But
I mean, like that song.
Yeah, but it's him playing it, and then it cuts to a guard telling him to shut up because he's still shrunk and he's in a little bird cage inside the Mushroom Kingdom.
Okay.
And then the post-credit scene is literally the same exact post-credit scene from Godzilla 1998, where they move the camera
egg?
in on an egg and it cracks and then
Is
it
it a
roars.
Yoshi?
It's a Yoshi egg.
Well, yeah, they had like the
The Yo-
Jurassic Park scene where they're like
All the
traveling
Yoshi.
through,
Yeah,
and the Yoshis are like running through, and then I love that the pink one stopped. I
Yeah.
love that it wasn't green Yoshi. I love that it was
Well,
pink.
because there are Yoshi and then there's Yoshi. There's,
It's
it's like
there's
the animal-
Toad and then
Yeah.
there's Toads.
Yeah, exactly. One of them is, a race of people and the other one is a tax evading fuck, Like,
oh, Yoshi definitely evades his taxes.
absolutely has committed
Why
tax
does
fraud
Yoshi
multiple
have to
times.
Do taxes. He's an animal.
Dude, Yoshi's a superstar. Okay?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Here, we'll talk about my superstar of the movie. Nick, behind you, you'll see that there's a cute little boy.
Oh yeah.
My little dry bones.
Dry
Loved him.
Bones.
Dry bones, loved him.
How did you like when Dry Bones got Luigi'd?
What? Oh, I was like, what are you talking? I loved it. I truly loved the scene with Dry Bones just like coming out of the woods like zombies, Night
Yeah.
of the Living Dead style. Like, that's all you need. That's all I needed for him.
What are you doing? Bro?
You don't know Fat Yoshi?
I know big.
Why is there an
Yoshi.
axolotl?
Somebody pitched down all of Yoshi's dialogue and put it on that Fat Yoshi. He's like, Yoshi. Stuff like that.
The donkey.
What?
He calls up like fucking Pizza Hut and he's just like big Yoshi. He's
So-
like, he calls up GameStop and he's like, I'm gonna need you to do me a favor. You can pull up Google and just search big Yoshi. And he's like, okay, all right. And he's like, you see that big green guy? That's Yoshi. He's like, oh, okay.
I liked the adventure.
Yoshi!
That's Donkey.
Yeah. I liked the adventuring through the kingdoms because they got the level with the fish from the SNES game back in the day. They got the lava level, like the Bowser's
Bowser's
like
Castle.
although they weren't direct translations, they got all of the vibe correct. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Also, the one thing that I forgot is that they come from the real world to the Mushroom Kingdom. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
feel like they did a good job of explaining that transition as opposed to like, oh, I just fell down a well one day and now
Yeah.
here I am. So,
A green pipe.
yes.
I love that we gave Peach some trauma. She's like, I don't know where I'm from.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? And
She
I
was
love
raised
how
by
she's
mushrooms.
like, the Toads took me in, and when I became of age, they made me their princess. And I'm like,
There's
They
a little bit of
made
a
me-
pause there. I was like, what'd they do? What'd they do?
When I turned 18. But also they made her a princess, not a queen,
just the princess.
just a princess. How about at the end when the fucking is there a name for the bombs? What are they called?
Bombs?
Bullet bills.
The bullets?
You had to be more specific there. There's multiple bombs.
Well, you
'cause
know, the
he's-
one with the face.
The bullet bill.
The bullets.
bombs have faces too.
Oh, that's true.
No, he's talking about the
I know
bullet
he
bills.
is.
The
Yeah.
missile.
Okay, that's
bullet
better.
bill.
Thank
The
you.
bullet. When Mario leads him to the pipe, I really was like, Mario's about to fucking just blow up New York. And just like, he's like, fuck New York. We're living here. Me and Luigi are fine. I'm blowing up Brooklyn.
What's that say, Nick?
It says bomb.
What's that say?
Bomb.
I will not get off
Okay,
this.
but that's like, I don't think of bullet bill when you say a bomb. Can you look up bomb?
Bomb.
Bomb.
Bomb. The sex bombs.
In the new Paper Mario, he blows up. Sorry, that's probably a spoiler alert. There you go. You said a bomb.
Oh, the other thing was the baby Mario and baby Luigi
yeah,
the
scene.
flashback.
They looked very like once
They had
again
the
they
eyes.
nailed it. I'm trying to think of so the Mamma Mia, how they never gave you a straight up Mamma Mia with Mario. It was always in slow motion when he was doing something.
I don't even remember any of them.
When he flips over the bullet bill, he says the Mamma Mia. When
Didn't pick up on it.
well that's what I'm saying. I think they purposefully did it in slow motion because it's not
To stretch it out.
yeah, well not
Okay.
even that, just in general, so you can't be super critical of it, you know. One of my friends did say to me though that the voice of Mario is just like clearly like the direction was Chris Pratt but with a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. I think
Yeah.
it works. So
It was also like way up in his
upper
in his
register
head,
too, yeah.
Like because Chris Pratt, if he Parks and Rec, he's talking down here in his chest, whereas
Yeah.
this the whole time he was up here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good stuff. So I just wish, like I said, I just wish there was more meat on the bone when it came to the story.
Yeah.
But like we said, there's no meat on the bone when it comes to a Mario game. So what were
Yeah,
you expecting?
I don't know. Maybe it's a conflict of mine. I'll figure it out maybe when I see
I
it again.
honestly thought there was a more plot than I expected with it. Okay, Bowser's coming. He's going to take over the Mushroom Kingdom. We got to go get the Kongs.
Yeah.
And like, I'm surprised that they went like, I would have held off on Donkey Kong and teased him, not Yoshi.
Why do you think critics responded the way that they did?
I have no fucking clue.
Right? I have no idea either.
What's the current score at?
56, I think.
Critical score?
Yeah.
Maybe they just don't like fun. I don't know.
Super Mario Bros. What do you think about the commercial that they did? That was a reference to something, right?
Oh gosh.
Wow, 96 audience score. Yeah.
Burke is shooting us somewhere because it is the reference to it's the Maker one that I can't remember the name of. Burke literally talked about it last week.
Yeah?
Like, sorry.
I wasn't here last week, so I get a pass.
I don't remember it.
What's the one where you have to build the levels?
Oh, Super Mario Maker.
Yeah.
And they did that commercial type thing.
Yeah, it's like that's like the premise.
Yeah.
Like that's the style of it.
Gotcha.
So yeah, check it out. I think it's at least worth your 90 minutes or however long. It's a short movie too, which is nice.
I would not have seen this if I didn't have to for this podcast. Glad that I did, but also just wait for it to come to a streaming platform.
No, I want this to make $1 billion because I need a Legend of Zelda movie.
I think that
I need a Kirby movie.
I think Nintendo
I was just about to
is
say that.
definitely going to start unrolling. It doesn't need to make $1 billion for them to start pumping these out.
I think there's a little bit of an issue though with. I think Nintendo's going to be happy with the results that they're getting from this movie. That the audience is clearly a fan, and that they're going to make $1 billion, like no matter what, and the merchandise that this is going to move as well.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that originally there was a report that Nintendo was not happy with the first cut of this movie and
Right,
sent it
that's
back to Illumination and said, you need to do better. So, and after that, they founded their own animation department. So I'm just saying, it's possible that this might be the only collaboration between them or the only existing contract that they will have, because there's no fucking way that Illumination and Universal made a deal with Nintendo for one movie. They made a deal with Nintendo for multiple movies, like 100%. Maybe not other properties, but at least as far as Mario is concerned, you can bet that there was at least 3 movies in that contract. And a Donkey Kong movie. They already said they're working on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else?
I give it a thumbs up, but just wait. Like, I don't think you need to spend your money to go see this. Just wait till it comes out.
I liked it. I'm a little disappointed I didn't get my block popcorn canister bowl thing, whatever we're calling it. They were sold out by the time I got there on Thursday. So
You want to know? Want to take a guess at what I got as my movie theater snack from Quick Check before the movie?
No, what'd you get?
Well, you remember last time it was milk and what's
Milano.
Milano's.
Milano's.
Thank you. I was gonna say Pepperidge Farm, but that's not.
Pepperidge
Yeah.
Farm remembers.
This time, because I went to see it at 9 a.m., I got one of those.
Did you go this morning?
I went this morning.
Okay.
I got one of those Starbucks cold like Frappuccino in a glass and a buttered roll.
Wow.
That was what that's why I showed up with Taco Bell, because that's all I ate today.
All right, let's hit the clip.
Oh yeah, the clip of the week. Oh, it's the clip of the week. It's the clip of the week.
So, just in spirit of Mario Bros, I figured this was a good clip to start with. I got 2 for this week, so.
Oh, you got 2?
Ooh.
Those guys will do anything for publicity.
That's a real scene from the original Mario
They
Brothers
destroyed
movie.
the Twin Towers in the Mario
Wait, when
Brothers
did the
movie?
original one come out?
93?
No way.
Was this before or after the first bombing attempt on the Twin Towers?
Definitely before, because I think the first bombing was 96.
Okay.
93, I think they were trying it at Newark Airport.
The Mario Brothers?
Yep.
Those guys will do anything for publicity.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Literally the most poorly aged clip on the internet right now.
Holy crap.
So then we have our normal. You ready for
Oh, I'm ready. This
okay.
looks like a great setup.
Oh yeah, this one's a fun one.
There's a lot of bystanders.
Oh, no.
Oh!
Dude, his hands are on fire. I mean, everything else is on fire too. But they just beat the shit.
Don't worry, bro. We got you. Shit.
Okay, do it again.
Why would he do that?
Dude.
He had to have a lighter, right? Like he did that on purpose?
Yeah, well, go
Yes.
go back.
A guy lights it on fire.
So I'm wondering, that fuel is from the car,
Yeah.
and he just is a piece of shit. But is that guy carrying a gas can?
Yes, he is.
And
Dude, look, all the shoes.
Notice how those two guys, the gas can and lighter guy, book it. They knew exactly what they
Dude,
were
this
Gas
doing.
can guy looked taken off guard, though.
Yeah. Look. He's like, oh shit, oh shit. Look at this guy. There's someone over here that's on fire too.
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
you're right.
background.
God. This poor guy.
Like, stomp him out, stomp. I love the, oh shit.
For
Is there
our
a follow-up?
yeah, probably not. For our listeners, it's there's just gasoline on the ground, and gasoline on the ground around a group of people, and somebody lights it on fire.
Well,
It looks like
okay,
we're at,
so
like, a
if
car
we,
meet.
so yeah, but here's the thing: is that like you see how it's in, it goes on the tire track.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking the car drove through it
Probably.
and dragged. See how it trails off around
yeah.
where the car tires.
So
went?
it was like the guy with the gas can may have accidentally spilled some. The
Yeah.
car went through it.
And this guy came up
They
and
just
lit
beat the fuck out of him, dude.
it. To save his life.
Oh, fuck.
Reminds me of that guy from the Cloverfield trailer. Dude, his hands.
Yeah, you're.
His hands, dude.
As soon as I saw a car and too many bystanders, I knew.
Must be so hot.
That was a good one.
Uh,
Liz, what'd you think of that one?
That was wild.
well, that's what this show is. Wild. Wild, wild,
If you
wild.
like this show, this wild, wild show, like and subscribe and leave a comment and recommend it to your friends.
If you
and
don't like the show and you think it is mundane, leave a comment.
leave a comment and tell
And
us how
the
much we
question is
suck.
for you. I mean, like, what did you think of the Super Mario Brothers movie?
Yeah.
I'll be down in the comments to hear all your
to take your
measured
verbal
takes.
abuse.
Yeah, to take all your measured takes. Because there's no crazies in our comments. Well, with that said, I think we're good, huh?
Yeah.
We're good for this week. All right, cool. I will we will see what's next week. Maybe a break. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.